All right, we ready? And grab your bag and go. That's it, move, move. Go, 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 go. One, Armani suits and run.
Manager to cash register.
All right, Armani,
Manager
week
to cash
13.
register.
1-4 last week. Not great. Certainly not our best. We dipped below 500 for the first time this year. Not ideal, but we roll. Quick recap. Like I said, 1-4 last week. I had Pitt plus 2.5 against the Bears in that game all day. That game kind of felt like what I thought it would be, where, even with Mason Rudolph under center, really felt like they were going to, keep pace and potentially win that game. And they had their chances. They did late. Just kind of gave it away. Lions, man, that defense just looked bad. I know they pulled out the win in OT, which is great. Great to see Man Campbell get the win. But when you're trying to cover 10 points, not great going overtime. Just not helpful. Chiefs, man, that hook, brutal. Felt like we had a good read on that game. But, just the hook was too much. They win by a field goal. Browns, Kiernan, great pick. Shador comes out, gets the W. Browns look good. They got the job done. And then we had the Bucks against the Rams. Bucks were getting 7. They were out of that game in the first quarter. Awful. Just an awful performance. So let's see. Forget the overall record. We're at 60 games. We dip below 500. I want to say we're like 29-31. Not great, but we move on. We move on to week 13. Got to go 5-0 here. Need a big performance from us. Let's go to the wheel. Let's get into the picks.
All right, I am first up on the list, so I will start with my pick of the week. This is one that actually I was hoping I'd get first. This was, I'd say, pretty definitively my number one pick. There was one more that was maybe pushing for it, but this was no doubt my first overall if I had the opportunity to grab it. I'm taking the Houston Texans plus 4.5. In the group chat last week, we were talking about the AFC South and if we trust the Colts to hold on to that divisional lead. And I also said, I don't remember if it was last week or the week before, but I would rather go broke fading Daniel Jones than getting rich riding him. Pause. But that's how I still feel. I mean, we were talking about the possibility, looking at that Jaguar schedule down the stretch, that they have a very, very soft schedule, including 2 head-to-head matchups against the Colts. I think the Jags are going to push it, but Bowen suggested, and I think it's a valid one as well, the Houston Texans could also push for that now. I mean, that defense is humming. They're playing at a very high level. Am I a little concerned about the fact that CJ Stroud was out for 3 weeks, almost 4 with a concussion, and the team offense seemed to step up without him? I could be, but I do think that that was just part of them finding their identity, maybe getting their groove back that they really haven't had since 2 years ago. So I think that he's going to be able to step right back in, kind of take the reins from Davis Mills and elevate them because he is a more naturally talented player. So, that's how I feel about the Texans. I'm really high on them right now. So getting them as dogs, especially over a field goal like that, I absolutely love it. And I've said all that without even mentioning the fact that Daniel Jones is dealing with, I think, a broken fibula, something. He's got a bad injury in his bottom in his lower leg. And there was that video that came out from practice where he's clearly hobbled. I'm assuming he's moving a little bit better than that if he's going to be active this week. But I was already feeling pretty bad about him, especially going against a really good pass rush. Right, we took them, we faded them when they were facing the Steelers. Right, we faded them when they were facing the Falcons. I think when a team's able to get pressure on them and start to lock down maybe those number one, number two options, I think that that's really where he starts to revert back to the Daniel Jones that we've seen for pretty much 70 games of his career. So Yeah, I mean, I'm fading the Colts here. I'm also a big believer in the Texans, at least pushing to make a run to try and get this division down the stretch here. So I like them there.
All right, I'm up. I'm gonna be taking. I'm going Chargers here. Chargers minus 9.5 against the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders. Chargers are 3-0 in their last three against the spread against the Raiders. Justin Herbert 7-4 against the spread in his last 11 off the bye. He is 8-0-1 in his last 9 divisional games. He's not lost against the AFC West since 2023. The other compelling stat, I mean, we've been watching it all season long. Geno Smith feels like he is just constantly under duress. Doesn't know how to get rid of the football. Just has not looked good at all. So the Chargers have they are sixth in terms of sack rate and pressure against the QB, 4.5% sack rate. Geno Smith, when facing teams with a 4% or higher sack rate, he is 11-20-3 against the spread. Chargers coming off a bye here. This is a great spot for them, I think. To not only get a win, but start to separate themselves from the Chiefs and some of the other teams that are going to be battling for those wild card spots. Raiders are a bad football team, just a bad football team. So I could see the Chargers really, in need of a bounce back win coming off that bye. I could see them putting a lot of pressure on Geno. This has blowout written all over it to me. So I really like them covering the points here. In
All right, my time to go. Armani, week 13. Going with the Rams, 10.5. Playing the Panthers. I really don't see a way the Panthers can keep this close. A lot of I've picked the Rams multiple times this year. Obviously, a great team, probably the best team in the NFL right now. Their offense is amazing. I don't have any problem with them moving the ball this week against the Panthers. I think, they move the ball on everybody. I don't see that being an issue, especially with the Panthers. Two best cornerbacks both being out due to one to injury. J.C. Horn got a concussion last week after his 2-interception game. And then Trevor Moehrig is out due to he punched a guy in the balls after the game of last week's game and then got a 1-game suspension like the next day. So they're going to be down in a spot where they really can't afford to be down. I think the Rams, they were able to do whatever they want offensively, defensively for the Rams. No one's run on them all year. I don't see that changing. I know that's what the Panthers want to do. But I don't think game script or, really anything is going to be in their favor to run this ball. I think they might be able to move the ball a little bit to begin with, but as the game goes on and the Rams put up points, I think it's going to put a lot of pressure on Bryce Young to have to make plays. And I don't see that, being a recipe for covering.
Get me Armani.
A suit?
On the phone.
Like the main company number? Because I'm going to have to call information.
Where's Armani? He's on the phone. Too slow. You're not going to Paris.
Also, talking about the Sunday night game, I'm on the Commanders. I believe they are +5, maybe +5.5, but I'm already keen to take the underdog in spots like this, anyways. Really, in general, I typically lean on the underdogs for my best bets. But also, I think it's just one of those where it's easy to look at that game and say, Broncos, they can get, 6 or 7 points covers for them. Any sort of touchdown plus is good for them. That's pretty easy. But that's typically when I tend to go away from that as well. I just don't think that Denver is like a blowout team. I believe 8 of their 11 games this year have been decided by less than a touchdown. So I think the Commanders, they're bad, but they're not that bad. I think that the offense is capable of stepping up. Terry McLaurin's coming back. I like Marcus Mariota as a backup. I think he's one of the best in the league. So, yeah, I mean, at that number, I'm just going to take the underdogs and go on that side like I typically do.
In terms of the Sunday night game, we'll just roll right into it. I'm taking. I got the Broncos minus 5.5. I think the Commanders are a bad football team. Mariota's like 0-8 in his last 8 starts. I think as an underdog. I just think they're a bad football team. Broncos coming off the bye. They're trying to keep pace with the Pats for that 1 seed. That defense is just so good. Offensively, I know at times can be suspect. Bo Nix, kind of don't know what you're going to get, but really like the relationship he's building with Troy Franklin. I think they're going to pound the rock. Defense is going to be great, put a ton of pressure. Like I said, Commanders just feel like a dead football team. They just seem like they're running out of weapons. I think that defense is going to take advantage. So I like the Broncos to cover the points there. So those are the picks. All right, let's go. Armani.
The Sunday night football game, Commanders versus the Broncos, minus 5.5. Broncos going with Denver. I think I'm a little bit burned by the Commanders. The last time, I believe it was a primetime game that we had went with them. I don't remember the specifics, but I remember it was an ugly, ugly game. And, I don't want to do that again. I don't want to, be afraid of the points here. I want to trust the Broncos, who are playing for the 1 seed, playing with a lot, and playing pretty well. Well-coached team. I like them to come out on top. It might not be the prettiest game with Bo Nix, but I do think I do think they're able to get above this number against Marcus Mariota and company. So those are the picks. 5-0.
All right, let's recap the picks for this week. Week 13, Armani. Kieran going with the Texans plus 4.5 against the Colts. Bowen taking the Rams minus 10.5. I'm taking the Chargers minus 9.5. We're going with the Broncos minus 5.5 on Sunday night. That's Bowen and I. Kieran's on the Commanders, but we'll take the Broncos minus 5.5 tonight. And then tomorrow night, Monday Night Football. We're running it back with the Pats in prime time. The Pats are so back, even more back than they were. Kieran's wedding weekend pick of the week. We're going Pats minus 7.5 against the Giants. Let's go 5-0. Armani strong.